Good morning, and thanks for joining today's session, live on ServiceNow webinar session on how to fuel your enthusiasm, how Now Assist for ITSM will supercharge your IT service management. Just a quick check as well, guys, that I'm audible. You can see my screen. I'm actually sharing. Can I get a high sign from one of the co-presenters? All right, thanks, guys. Okay, so let's move on. Cracking on with our wall of words here. We may talk about some forward-looking features, things that aren't currently generally available. Our safe harbor notice indicates that anything that we talk about that's not available today represents a plan and not a promise. Go through a couple of introductions here. My name is Jeff Fox. I'm a product manager with our IT service management team here at ServiceNow. I've been in with the company for 3 years and focused on Now Assist for just about 3/4 of this year. I'm real excited to get to chat with you guys about our product and how it can benefit customers and partners and their customers. Real excited to share the stage today with Shrikar. Shrikar, do you mind to do a quick intro?
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everyone. My name is Shrikar Baka. I am the inbound product manager for Now Assist for ITSM. Nice to meet you all and demo some of our cool features that we have built in the last 6 months. Thank you.
Thanks, Shrikar. We've also got support today from Brian and Gokul. Guys, do you want to do quick intros as well, please?
Thanks, Jeff. Hey, guys, my name is Brian Lamb. Been here for about 3 years now, and I've been working on Now Assist pretty much since its inception. So really excited to have Jeff and Shrikar kind of show off the product to you guys, and Gokul and I will be on the back end answering any questions that come through the Q&A.
Thanks, Brian. Gokul?
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. My name is Gokul Nair. I am a Principal Product Success Manager supporting the ITSM BU here in ServiceNow. Been here for around 3.5 years now. Like Brian, I've been with Now Assist products since the inception, and looking forward to talking to you all today.
Awesome. All right, thanks. Okay, let's crack on. This session is part of ServiceNow's Live on ServiceNow curated event series. It's designed to connect you with ServiceNow experts and peers that can help you deploy your products and achieve value faster. We hope you join us again at another webinar or 360 Exchange event. You can see the schedule by scanning the QR code or using the link in the chat. I'm actually going to put in the link to today's session one more time. If one of you guys can perhaps add in the link to the ServiceNow events page, that would be really great. A little bit of housekeeping before we move on. We've saved time, as we always do, for Q&A at the end, but please leverage Zoom's Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be happy to take questions along the way. And we'll take breaks as well to read some questions out. This presentation is being recorded and shared on the community, ServiceNow's community. I've shared that link a couple times is where you can find that. And then after the event is done, you'll get a feedback survey. We really appreciate and benefit from your comments, so would really appreciate you granting us the gift of your feedback. One other note, we have a customer adoption day happening in California that's coming up in mid-November here on the 18th. This is, again, a live event, and I'm putting the link in the chat. And this is an event where you'll discover how Service Operations Workspace enhances the experience of various personas from the service desk to the change management function, all supported by a unified view and driven by AI-powered insights. So you'll be able to fortify your AI strategy and prepare your organization for the next wave of AI innovation by integrating generative AI with ServiceNow and Now Assist. So if you're interested in this session, the Customer Adoption Day, if you're going to be in California or want to travel to California to the ServiceNow headquarters, this could be a real benefit. You'll learn how ServiceNow Service Operations Workspace supports different ITSM personas. You'll learn best practices for deploying Service Operations Workspace and moving toward proactive service management. You'll learn the role of Gen AI in your ITSM strategy, including insights into Now Assist for ITSM, so a bit of a deeper dive there, and how to position your IT service management for future success. So if you're a platform owner, administrator, developer, or process owner, please join. You'll get to meet ServiceNow's outbound product management team and gain insights and address questions you may have. It includes a breakfast and a lunch and is at no cost to customers. So please take advantage of that. Okay, and let's, with that, we'll move into our session content. I'd like to take a couple minutes to review the problems that Now Assist for ITSM is solving for and a bit about what's included in Now Assist today, and then we'll move on to a demo, and Srikar's also gonna go through a use case demo and talk a bit about configuration. One of the items that we heard from our survey last session was that we wanted to, the audience wanted to see more around how to configure the solution in an instance, so he's gonna touch on that. After talking though with multiple customers, we've heard that organizations are really pressed to increase requesters self-servicing their needs, as well as increasing IT productivity. And this is all while simultaneously delivering exceptional end user experiences. Almost every customer we talk about, this is what they're trying to solve for. This may resonate with you. And today, organizations are increasingly confronted by a series of macro level problems that are overwhelming systems and their workforce. The things we see here on the screen may resonate with you, one or all of them might, particularly, doing more with less in terms of budget constraints. There's a lot that's here. And in terms of how this, shows up for your users and agents, these are the problems that Now Assist for ITSM is really looking to solve. And so modern enterprises, we say, need AI-powered solutions to tackle these macro challenges and enhance efficiency while improving employee experiences and freeing up agents to focus on more strategic work. And if we click into this scenario, a potential current state for a typical agent may be filled with a tedious process or processes compounded with incidents. And here, an agent may face challenges and friction in their work that's limiting their ability to deflect cases, limiting their ability to respond and manage cases quickly, and to try to do all this while minimizing their own stress. And so it would start out with an employee, right, who is trying to find self-service in their organization and unable to find answers that they need, which would drive them to create a ticket in the first place. And then this level one agent is going to try to address the ticket by reading through any transcripts that are available and then trying to search for answers that may have been documented or may not. And this all takes time. And if they can't find answers, then they'll need to hand off to another agent, which, as we all know, is going to increase the cost of the ticket. Sorry. And then the level two agent would read through all the past transcripts, potentially try some of the things that have already been tried by the prior agent. They may, because this initial agent may not have, the level one agent may not have documented any of the actions that they've attempted. And then when it comes to documenting the solution, this isn't always obvious to the level two agent, or it's something that can't always be done. And what's top of mind for those agents is usually getting to the next person in their queue. And so they may populate resolution notes with short statements like done or resolved with very little detail. And if there is a knowledge gap that's there, that may or may not be indicated, right? It's not an ideal state. And now I'd like to pivot into a future state where we'd see some vast improvements where we can generate this virtual loop using Now Assist to solve for a lot of these problems to the benefit of your organization. And once we streamline the resolution process, we have these incident records that are populated with notes and details about each resolution. And from that, we can easily generate content using Now Assist and we can generate content and service catalog items to bolster the agent and the employee as they're trying to find answers in the future. And with that, we have the ability to increase self-service through virtual agent and AI search, which will become smarter through their ability to deflect these incidents away from IT. And if we can do this, it generates this virtuous loop that we talk about where, even though we always are going to have agents, they'll be able to resolve things faster if it gets to them. And we'll achieve a future state where we can look at several benefits to your business that some of them are highlighted here. Generally, we talk about just growing efficiency as we scale. We try to address the reduction of the time to resolve cases, increase self-service content, and increase our deflection rate. And all this points to why we created Now Assist for ITSM. So I'm just going to take a few moments to go through some of the high-level use cases, and we'll move on to our demonstration from there. At a high level, Now Assist empowers your team with AI-powered capabilities in 3 ways. First, we provide employees with 24/7 access to contextual services, which will hopefully enable them to self-solve and deflect issues. Secondly, we streamline workflows for agents and IT teams, allowing them to focus on more impactful projects rather than getting bogged down in routine tasks. And finally, Now Assist ensures that your services are resilient and innovations are delivered with agility so that your IT services and operations are predictable and also adaptive to change. So I'm going to go through a couple more brief slides to dig into this, and we have some customer use cases that for expediency today I'm going to bypass, but they'll be included in the deck when you go to download it. So in terms of Now Assist for ITSM, our self-service approach is really, it delivers an engaging experience that increases deflections with world-class service. We deliver accurate answers, a better experience by engaging with conversational catalog items, generated answers, and LLM-powered topics. And we deliver a fast time to value because these solutions can be deployed in minutes in your instance to solve for your unique use case. In terms of Now Assist for ITSM's agent productivity, and this will be the focus for today's demonstration, we talk about improving the overall service quality because agents are able to deliver better services faster and spend less time manually digging for information and gathering an understanding about an incident or a problem. We also, because of that, are able to reduce the mean time to resolve and do it all with a better experience. The summaries and knowledge content that are generated occur at key inflection points within the flow of work. So it makes the agent's job much less stressful and more satisfying. And finally, in terms of service resilience, we're bringing a new level of resilience to services. And this really helps to improve service quality overall because we're leveraging the Now LLM to enable change managers to quickly understand associated risks and activities around a change that can overall improve and strengthen the service reliability. It delivers an excellent experience, not just for developers, but for change managers, problem managers, and major incident managers who will benefit from an enhanced productivity across the board, ensuring that everyone can perform at their best. And then finally, it's again a fast time to value because with just a few clicks, you can turn on this service resilience through change summarization and immediately boost the reliability of your service operations. So finally, we'll go back to this virtuous loop where we have talked about this engaging self-service, how we are able to streamline incident resolution and generate content. And this really delivers for the key personas that we're trying to address in terms of delivering a great outcome for the employee, the agent, and the admin or owner or leader. And that's what we've got in terms of an overview. Guys, I'm going to pass it over to Shrikar at this point. Shrikar, you want to walk us through our demo?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So in today's demo, what you're trying to do is you're trying to break down the big demo into a small 4-part demo. So we'll start with chat summarization, where you will see an employee interacting with an agent from ESC, an agent sitting on service operations workspace, trying to leverage the chat summarization feature to improve their productivity. And then we will move on to the classic incident form on service operations workspace, where we'll try and summarize an open incident and how it helps to save time of an agent. And then when an agent tries to resolve an incident, how Now Assist will help you in drafting a resolution notes is what we are going to see. In the last part of the demo, we want to open a closed incident and try to generate a knowledge base article from the service operations workspace as an agent. And for those of you where it's not agents who create a KB article, but the knowledge manager who creates a KB article. You also want to go to the knowledge portal where you can see how you can draft a knowledge article by using Now Assist for ITSM. So that will be 4 quick parts of demo. Yep. So now I'll take over the screen share, Jeff. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen. So on one side, I am on the ESC. I'm going to impersonate Able Tutor, who is an employee. And then on the other side, I'll impersonate an agent. Maybe I'll use David for today's demo. So David is an IT service. I'll open up Service Operations Workspace. And I'll mark him as available for taking chat. So I'll keep it like this so you can see both of it. So now I'm opening my bot, and so basically it's a LLM powered bot. So it's basically a virtual agent where it can help you to resolve any of your issues. But for today's demo, I'm going to jump right into live agent part of it. So it comes up for the David's queue. David accepts the chat. Okay. So now at this time itself, even though we don't have a lot of messages, the chatbot tried to summarize saying that what has happened until now. So it just says able requested assistance from live agent. And this is all the conversation that happened between virtual agent and the requester. So now this is the template message that we send. Now as an requester, I'm gonna ask some questions like I am not able to install VPN on my Mac device. So here we have an option to kind of use generative AI to generate the responses as well. So we'll try and see what would be the right response at this point in time. So here we are trying to leverage Now Assist for coming up with chat replies. So here it says some message. Now you can further refine it to elaborate or shorten this message, or you can simply click on insert. That will automatically insert the message generated by the Now Assist. So it says, I'm sorry to hear that you're having a problem with VPN, blah, blah, blah. So now you can always go and edit this because it's generated by AI. It may not be accurate. You can always make a change whenever you want to make a change. And finally, you can click on send. So now agents receive this message. So essentially, the agent is asking for more information. So I'm going to say an error message while I'm installing the app. I'm not able to proceed. So now let's say you want to use a KV article. This is a quick action, by the way. You click on that backslash. It shows you a bunch of quick actions. I'll do this, and maybe I'll say VPN as my keyword. So there is some article that talks about how to configure VPN for Apple devices. So I'll just click on hit. So I'll say, please try the steps, outline KV article. So assume that I kind of tried this, but it's still not working out. So I'll just say, hey, I tried all this steps above, but I'm still not able to install the VPN. So at this point in time, I want to show you, see, for example, as an agent, you might be working on multiple chats. So you're not just focused on one chat. So whenever you are switching your context, you might forget like what has happened until at this point. I mean, this is a simple example, but there can be tens of messages exchanged between the agent and requester. Instead of again trying to go through the messages to get the context, agent can simply make use of the summarize option here. When I click on this, the Now Assist for ITSM is trying to summarize what has happened until now. So it quickly says able to report an issue with installing VPN and unable to proceed. So David agent kind of given them a KB article, able to confirm trying the steps, but still facing the same issue. So at this point, they will run out of any a quick way to solve the issue. So he might just say, let me create an incident to further investigate this. So here you can see an option to create an incident. Like click on this. So chat summary is used in multiple ways. Even when you're trying to create an incident from an interaction, Now Assist for ITSM try to generate the summary and will try to add that in the description of an incident so that whoever is the agent who is going to take up on this incident will have the full context. Not just in this scenario, there is another scenario where you might have to transfer your current interaction to another agent who has better expertise in that area. Even when there is a even when there is an agent handoff, we are going to generate a chat summary to help that new agent to understand the context that has happened so far. So there are three cases where the chat summary triggers automatically. The first one is when there is a virtual agent to a live agent handoff. So here we are moving from virtual agent to a live agent, and the summary happened automatically. And in the second case, when we create an incident from an interaction, it tried to summarize automatically. The third case that we kind of not demoed it here is live agent handoff, like agent to agent handoff. And in addition to these three use cases, we can also generate a summary on demand every time by using this click action. So that's about the chat summary feature. And also I kind of squeezed in another Now Assist feature that is kind of generating responses using Now Assist. Cool. This is the first demo. So now I move on to the second demo. Let me close my tabs.
Nice work, Shrieker. While you're resetting there was a question in the chat. I think it's a good question. It asked about the KB article. If it's not been tried and by the requester and they went away to try it, would they be able to pick up where they left off in the chat? And I'd indicated that the chat will persist until either the requester or the agent ends it, and that the knowledge article would just open up in the portal.
That's correct. So even after some time, if they come back and open their chat window, the requester should still be able to see that the KB article persists there, and they can open up in the portal to look at the entire article. Thanks,
Nice.
Jeff.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. So here I am. I'm trying. So I'm kind of moving to the second demo. Here we will look at the incident summarization and resolution notes. So let me maximize the screen because we just need one window. I'll go to service operations workspace. Again, I'm acting as an IT service desk agent, so I have access to these workspaces. So for the demo, I kind of picked up a couple of incidents. So we just open that list. Okay, cool. So let's look at the first example. So this incident, so essentially, if you are opening up this incident, then you can see the issue is all about the OneDrive not able to sync, and then an agent Carol, an employee Carol is not able to kind of sync her OneDrive, and she's not able to update a deck she's working on with her team. And you can see there are a bunch of CIs that got impacted. There are a bunch of services that got impacted because of this incident. And there's also a lot of back and forth happened between Carol and agents. So let's say if you're a new agent assigned to work on this incident, it's going to take a lot of time for you to go through the entire incident and pertinent comments and work notes to find what has happened so far. So this is where we use the summarization functionality powered by Now Assist for ITSM. So with just one click, I'm starting to summarize the whole incident. So this is the first call today, so it may take some time because the cache needs to be warmed up. Oh, it came very fast. So in the summary, we are trying to give you things like what is the issue. So the issue is all about OneDrive not able to sync. And then what are the key actions taken so far? So we asked Carol to reset her OneDrive account. We asked her to sign out, sign in. Maybe we asked her to look at the PRB, and then we followed up on the issue. We asked her to clear her cache, and looks like we also kind of upgraded the version. So we have done a bunch of key actions so far. And then SLAs, it looks like there's an SLA breach happened. On this incident, it also gives you the corresponding time, and then a brief summary of the impacted services and affected CIs. So even if there are child incidents, we try to bubble the information from the child incidents in this case. So it looks like there is only one child incident, and we try to show up the information about that child incident here. So this way, the summarize is going to generate a quick summary in less than a minute. I think in a few seconds, you're able to summarize a very big incident that contains tens of work noted comments. So we are essentially trying to save the time for the agent to go through the entire incident and thereby increasing their productivity. So once you generate a summary, you have a few options that you can do here. You can always go back and give feedback saying whether this was a helpful summary or not, so that we will try and understand how good or bad our solution is. You can say helpful or unhelpful. You can always copy the summary to the clipboard and paste it wherever you want to paste it. We also have another option here to refresh. If you want to refresh to see another output, other version of the output, then you can click on that. That will try to summarize the incident again. There might be a slight difference between the outputs generated because we are using an LLM behind the scenes and it's not 100% deterministic in nature. And we also have an option to share it to the work notes. So once you generate a summary, you can click on share it to work notes, and so that the summary is persisted. You need not to generate it every time. So here, I also added a quick comment before this call where I said like, hey, after the after the user upgraded the version, the issue has been resolved. I verified it with requester and I'm closing the ticket. So I just added this. So now the issue is kind of resolved. Now what I do is I try to go and mark this issue as resolved. The moment I click on resolve, again, Now Assist for ITSM is going to kick in and it's going to come up with a drafted resolution notes. So we are trying to make it concise and to only show you what really helped issue to be resolved. And here it's all about upgrading the version of this product. So we just updated the version of the product and that resolved the issue. And this is a draft. I can always go back and make changes like verified with the user and confirm the issue is required. If you want to add more information, or you can simply use whatever information that is generated by the Now Assist. And then you can click resolve solution provided as a resolution code, and you click on resolve. Okay, something is not filled in. Maybe an able tutor. I'll save this record. Yeah, now it is resolved, and this is the resolution notes that we kind of generated, and this is the these are the resolution notes, and this is the resolution code provided. So this way, Now Assist can help you in summarizing open incidents and also kind of creating drafting resolution notes while you're closing the incident. Again, if there are any questions, please add in the Q&A. Jeff, are there any questions that we need to address before we move on?
Yeah, there's a handful of questions here, Shrieker.
Okay.
Let's see here. So there's one about shortcuts. Okay. Sorry, man, couple questions. For domain separated instances, how does Now Assist work? Since each domain may have its own set of articles and info used by Now Assist, so the same error question may have different answers based on the domain of the user who started the interaction. I know that, is that something you might speak to? I think I have an answer. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, every Now Assist feature is going to work based on the context of a record, at least in the demos that we have seen so far. So during the chat, we'll just look at the chat information, and then we also try to honor all the ACLs and all the different user criteria that has been set up, including the domain separation. So whenever Now Assist is trying to access some information from a KB article or past incidents, we will make sure we only look at the incidents that are accessible to the agent in that particular context. So if there is already a domain separation set up in your instance, and now LLM will honor all those data constraints. Yeah.
Indeed, thank you. There's another question about, is Now Assist available for ITSM Pro? And I'd like to take that one. That the Now Assist capabilities that we're demonstrating here require an ITSM Pro Plus or Enterprise Plus subscription. So if you have ITSM Pro, these capabilities are not included. So it is an upsell from ITSM Pro or Enterprise to get Plus. Thanks. So we got that one. Okay. There is a question here about, why do we only use agents with admin rights? That's not a normal situation where they would have, I guess the agent would have admin rights. I'm just curious, are you using an agent are you using the system admin?
Oh yeah, I think for this demo I'm just logged in as myself, so that's why you're seeing admin rights here. But yeah, we can always switch back to an agent, just like I did in my old demo.
Yeah,
So
I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, the statement I think I would make is that there are permissions required to leverage the capabilities, and they can be modified within the skill setup, capability setup in the Now Assist admin console. I think for demo purposes, it's good advice. We should probably be using agents, but so thanks for the question, Ellie. Anything to add on that one, Shrikar?
no, you're right. You're spot on. This is just an example. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. We'll get to more questions as we go. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. So let's get into the last part of our demo, which is generating knowledge articles using Now Assist for ITSM. So out of the box, we generally create knowledge articles from a closed incident, so or a resolved incident. So I just picked this up, which is all about a password reset. Again, you can go back and summarize an incident to see what is this incident is all about. But at this point, I'm trying to create a knowledge article from this one. So again, I'm an IT agent here who is creating a knowledge article. I'll pick up knowledge base. It's a standard template. I'll click on create article. So at this point, Now Assist for ITSM will kick in and it will basically prompt you whether do you want Now Assist to draft an article for you, or do you want to write by yourself. I am going to say yes, I want Now Assist to draft it for me. It's going to take all the context of the incident, child incident, and it's going to come up with an article here. Okay, so it says what is the issue, what are the symptoms, what is the steps to reproduce, and then what are the resolution steps taken to kind of resolve this issue, and also some additional information. So now we also show you a bunch of similar articles. This is primarily in order to make sure you're not creating duplicate articles. So basically, it's an article is all about password reset. So try to bring up a couple of catalog items around password reset, and I think also about a couple of KB articles around account getting logged, etc., etc. So if you think this is a unique article and that needs to be created, so once you go through the article and you can make any changes that you want to make a change, and you can click on save. This will create a draft article, and then based on whatever is your published workflow, that will automatically kick in. So that's about creating a knowledge-based article from a closed incident using Now Assist for ITSM. So this is one way of doing it. We also want to demo how a knowledge manager would do in this scenario. So let me go to knowledge, new tab. So this is our good old knowledge portal. So I click on the actions dropdown. I have an option to create a new article. I would again pick standard article template. So again, it gives me the same prompt. So I'll just say, yes, I want Now Assist to do it for me. So now it'll ask you what are the sources from which I have to create my incident. So maybe I will use the OneDrive incident that we just closed. Let's see. Yeah. So there are a bunch of incidents that kind of came up when I gave this short description. So here I want to highlight, in the previous path, you can only create a knowledge article using one incident as a source. In this path, you can actually make use of multiple incidents while creating a knowledge article. I can say I want to create a knowledge article using maybe these two incidents, and I'll say continue with selected tasks. So at this point in time, we are sending more inputs and more context to the now assist from two incidents and their corresponding child incidents. So now it's going to create an article using that information. Okay.
Sometimes it
So
takes a minute to generate, right?
Yeah. Especially when you're sending in more input, it's going to add that latency. Yeah. So essentially, it fills you a description. It says something to do with network drive and OneDrive, because those are two incidents that we kind of given as an input, and you can see it's kind of trying to make use of both the inputs. And similarly, I'm sure if you go through the cause, resolution, and steps to reproduce, you can see the information coming up from both the incidents. So once again, you will select a knowledge base, maybe IT, and then you can click on, here you have an option to search for duplicates before submitting, but just go and submit. So again, this will create a draft article, and then it will go through its own publish workflow. So this is another way to create a knowledge article using Now Assist. Again, I'll take a pause to see if there are any questions
Yeah.
for this demo.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions. Thanks, Shrieker,
Okay.
though. I don't think we've shared in any of our demos to date how to create a knowledge article from the knowledge portal here. Pretty powerful use case that may be more applicable to folks that don't have their agents generate articles themselves. However, there was a question that came in. I know we answered it in the thread, but it asked about, indicated that the customer's organization leveraged KCS and specific knowledge templates to follow. And the ask was, can Now Assist be configured to create knowledge from those templates? Shrieker.
Great question. So I think today we support standard and KCS templates. There is already, we also have trying to support other out-of-the-box templates. That's on our roadmap. For custom templates created by the customers, that's again in our roadmap, but it's not currently supported.
Great. Let's see, there's one. Okay. Another licensing related question. Is there anything else needed to have Now Assist in addition to this Pro Plus subscription? Any other plugins or fees? And the answer to that is no. The Pro Plus SKU includes everything that's required to leverage Now Assist. Just going through a couple of these, we've answered most of them. If a customer is using other ServiceNow modules like HRSD or SecOps, can they use Now Assist for those as well? And the answer to that is that there are separate SKUs to leverage Now Assist for HRSD or SecOps or ITSM. For each of those modules, they have their own subscription, and they have their own Pro Plus or Enterprise, or at least a Pro Plus subscription. Okay. I think that's it. There is an open question around a document that has shortcuts that have been used in the agent chat that Shrieker did initially. I believe there's a product doc for that. I'm not able to look at it right now in the session. Maybe Brian or Gokul could see if that exists. But if you do invoke the backslash, those shortcuts do show up and can be documented. I'm sure we must have a product doc on that, but great question. We'll try to get something documented for you, Amanda. And that's all the other questions. Guys who've been manning the chat, is there anything else you want to call out before we move on?
There's a question around whether these features work when you're using Teams.
When you say Teams, I'm assuming it's all about the requested persona. So if an employee initiating a chat with an agent via Teams or Slack or any other adapter, all these features will work fine because the features that we demoed are on the workspace. So we are good. Yeah.
Thank you, Shrieker. Thanks, Brian. Okay, I think that's it for questions for now. Oh, sorry. Thank you for the clarification, Richard. I misspoke. I said backslash and it's just a slash. Thank you for that. All right, Shrieker, was that the last part of the demo?
Yeah, that's the last part of the demo, guys. So we also want to touch upon the admin setup to make you understand how easy it is for you to get started with the Now Assist, especially the agent productivity features that we demoed today. Before we jump in, we also have few questions for you. We would like to get some feedback from you so that that helps us in shaping our roadmap in the future. So they are going to come up as poll questions. Please be candid and answer the question. So that would really help us. So that's a first poll question that you can see. So we are trying to understand the role of attachments in the incident management. So yeah.
Thanks, folks. If you'll take a moment, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Screenshots and pictures, emails, Word docs and other files, and anything different. Please do let us know. We'll give you another moment. All right, we're like 45 seconds in. We're over 50%, 60%. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Or sorry, 50%. Here we go. Okay, and we'll proceed on to our second question. This one is, whoops, I just launched the third question. Sorry. We have a second question to go as well. What other valuable summarization generation use cases may be included in the may include attachments? So if you'd let us know if you think change summarization or agent chat summarization, resolution notes, or knowledge article generation would be useful to look at attachments and be able to leverage attachments, please let us know. Shrieker, anything else to add in here?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see from our questions, we are trying to build something around attachments. So we'd like to get your feedback, how valuable and where would you find it valuable, so that we can focus on the right areas.
All right. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and end this one as well. Thank you, folks, for your inputs. Really appreciate that. Okay, and last poll question. Maybe it's good that it's the last one. How valuable would attachment data be within incident summaries? So this one's pretty specific to incident summarization. 5 is the most valuable, and 1 is the least. Really great input for us. Thank you guys for helping to improve the product. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll as well. Thank you, folks, very much. And Shrieker, you want to continue with the...
Sure, absolutely. Okay, let's go back to our admin persona now. So I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to go to admin. So basically, we have Now Assist admin. Now Assist admin is a one-stop shop where you can configure any and every feature related to Now Assist, not only for ITSM, but also for other applications. So here we will go to Now Assist features, and within technology, we have ITSM. We can see other technology products. If you have installed them, then you can configure all of them in the same admin console. So here we'll start with the ones that we kind of demo today. We'll start with the chat. So within chat, we have multiple features. The first one is chat summarization, which I demoed, and then chat reply recommendation, which we also demoed. The sidebar discussion summarization, which we have not demoed, but it's very similar to chat summarization. But this is all about a chat happening between two agents on the sidebar. So I will open the chat summarization one. So essentially, we have a series of steps that you need to kind of configure. So where all do you want this chat summarization to be configured? So it's VA to live agent handoff, live agent to live agent handoff, and we also configure the quick action. That way you can see the summary coming up when I click on that slash. And whenever the chat gets wrapped up, we also generate a chat summary. And then how do you want to make use of this conversation? Whenever we try to create an incident, you have seen the description is being filled using the chat summary. And then when a task getting created, and this is what we kind of demoed. And you also have ability to choose whether you want it to be a bulleted list or not. So once you make these selections, You click to go next, and here where you select your portals. So it comes on ESC by default, which we used for our demo. But if you're using anything else like our classic old service portal, you select this. And if there is any other portal that your employees leverage today, you can kind of select multiple of them. Then you click on save and continue. Then select display. So whatever you have seen is in product. There is also another option where you can use it in Now Assist panel, which we kind of not demoed it today. Maybe next time we will show how it will be used in Now Assist panel. And once you make the selection, then you will just click on, you just review whatever things that you have selected. And if you think you're all good, you just click on done, and that will automatically activate your skill. And it's going to be the same with a chat replay recommendation and sidebar chat summarization. I'm not going to go through those two. Let's look at incident now. Yeah. So in incident, we kind of looked at two things today. First one is incident summarization, and the other one is resolution notes generation. So we'll go to incident summarization. So I kind of made a copy of this, so don't ignore this phrase here. But essentially here, what are we trying to do is we will go to choose input, and choose input. Here we have a bunch of things that you can essentially configure. So we are selecting, these are like base fields that will be automatically selected, like short description, work note, additional comments. But you can also add other new base input fields if you want to add like SLAs, anything like approval history, skills, etc., that you think should be part of your inputs that generate the summary. The second one, we also have ability. So this is like, when do you want to use this? So basically, we have multiple states. So for every state, you can configure what are the input fields. So when a state is new, these are the fields that I want to use. When state is work in progress, I might want to use additional fields. When state is resolved, probably I want to use the resolution information. So based on a state, you can configure what are the input fields that you want to send to LLM. And then you can also choose additional data resources, and it has to be a related list. You cannot choose whatever table you want to choose, but it has to be a related table, like a child incident, an SLA, a CI, or any other related list available on the incident table. So once you do that, you'll go to the next one, which is customize prompt. So here again, you can pass additional sections, additional input. So you can configure what are the additional sections that you want to see on your the output. So by default, we have been showing you a few things like issue and actions taken, and we're also showing impacted CIs. But you can also add service level agreement. You can add child incidents, and maybe something else in the future. So here you are basically configuring how your output sections would look like. Again, we are doing this at a very high level, I understand, but this is just to get you a feel of what all can be configured. We are not kind of digging deep into the configuration. This is an important thing. So availability. So let's say you are trying out an Now Assist only with a few set of employees, then you can make it custom available. So here you can pick up conditions like maybe based on their role or assignment group, location, etc., etc. If you are kind of rolling it out only to a subset of your agents, and by default the skill is selected to be available for all the agents with access to the incident form. The next one is defining trigger. There is only one trigger for summarization, that is the assign model that we have seen in our demo. Select display, again in product, is what you are seeing on the incident form, and NAP is another panel that comes up on the right hand side where you can ask the LLM or the Now Assist to kind of summarize your incident. And finally, once you make all the configurations, again you have an ability to kind of review them on this page, and you will click on done, and here you're going to essentially activate your skill. That's about incident summarization. I'll take a pause here to see if there are any questions that we need to address before we move on.
Hey, Shrikar, right now the questions, I think we've answered them all. There's been a few questions about, do you need to be in service operations workspace to leverage Now Assist?
Okay. No, there's all the features are also available on the UI 16. So we are ensuring that there is a functional compatibility, at least at this point. So incident summarization, resolution notes generation, ability to generate a KB article, all of them are available on the UI 16 as well. Thanks for your question. Yeah.
And folks, we're winding it down here. We have less than 10 minutes left. If you have any other questions or want to ask a question live, please raise your hand or ask a question using the Q&A panel. Shrieker, anything else?
Yeah, the last one is just the KB generation. We touch upon this. Again, similar, you'll go to the workflow, you look at knowledge, and there is only one skill, which is KB generation. You go into this. So here you don't have a lot of flexibility like you have on incident summarization, because all fields are like kind of read-only. We are not opening up for the customers to configure this at this point. Define availability, again, by default, we are saying this is only available when the incident is closed or resolved based on our best practices, but you can always choose to kind of customize this to make it work for you. And select display, again, in product, and finally we'll review and activate KB generation. So the macro point that I want to drive by showing this admin setup is you need not to do any prerequisite setup to turn on this agent productivity features. You can just install the plugins on your dev or test instances, just activate a couple of skills like incident summarization, resolution notes generation, and you can start seeing, you can play with it, and you can see the value that you're going to get out of Now Assist for ITSM in less than a week. So that's the whole point that I want to drive by showing this admin setup. So yep, that's all from my side, Jeff.
Nice.
Thank you all.
That was really powerful. Thanks. I think, seeing these things, these use cases all in action. Let me share my screen here. Seeing all the use cases in action and seeing how it's set up, I think is pretty powerful. So again, I think to get these capabilities set up in your own subprod instance or even in production is a pretty straightforward process. And if you have any questions, please let us know. I put a handful of resources on the slide here that'll be available in the deck. And again, I'm going to post a couple of other items in terms of the recording for today's session, as well as our community. So here's the session information. And again, we are here and ready to help if there's any questions. Otherwise, we really appreciate you taking time to join us today. And that will conclude our session. We'll hang out. Please let us know if there's any other questions.